I think we all know what made me want to do this video. The one I have planned for this week is probably going to come out next Friday, but I think we need to take a moment to think over what happened last week. Now, I'm not going to be showing many pictures and absolutely no footage of the accident, because we all saw it already, and if you're looking at this video in the future, I'm talking about Grosjean's crash in Bahrain. Today I wanted to take a few minutes of your time so we can go through the main technological and safety innovation that have taken place since the sport's first season, most of which have led to last week's incident resulting in a few light burns. Formula 1 have been taking driver safety and putting it over most things in the last couple of years. Sometimes it feels like they don't do enough, but that's a topic for another time. The first thing I wanted to touch on is probably one of the most important aspects of motor racing, one we take for granted now, but you'll be surprised to know safety belts weren't mandatory up until 1972. Yes, you heard it right, 1972. To put you in context, that's the year Ben Affleck and Gwyneth Paltrow were born, the year ABBA and Rod Stewart were at the top of the listen list. Now that I say that, it does seem like a long time ago, but nevertheless, that's the year the 6-point safety harness was made compulsory, capable of withstanding 1.5 tons per strap. The history of the F1 helmet has already been heavily covered by multiple channels, so I'll keep it short. Leather and cloth caps were used when the series first got going, with complementary goggles to keep debris from getting into the driver's eyes. They were pretty much as resistant as putting up a folded up hand towel on top of your head. Better than nothing, but not much help. In the late 50s, Bell introduced the Bell 500, which extended the protection all the way to the back and sides of the head, and was made of more resistant fiberglass laminate. Until 1968, most drivers used to cover their faces with cloth or leather face masks, but then Dan Gurney started using the first full head helmet, which extended up to the front of the driver's face and had a makeshift visor, one that some drivers ran without, preferring the goggles. Gurney first started using it because him being slightly shorter than his mates meant that he got most of the debris that got picked up from the cars in front straight to his face, like little bullets, he said, with fire retardant fabric Nomex being introduced shortly after and weaved inside the helmet fabric. From the 1970s on though, changes have been iterative and similar, with the full integration of the visor into the structure of the helmets later, and after Felipe Massa's 2009 accident, a protective strip that has now been introduced into the main structure of the helmet has been used. Materials and padding evolved, but the shape is still recognizable to this day. But with helmets getting heavier and harnesses stronger, the head was merely a passenger during a crash, with not much more protection than the one the driver could give by holding his arms around his face, something that could lead to more severe injuries actually. But cars were getting faster, in crashes stronger, and after the tragic 1994 San Marino Grand Prix weekend, F1 was interested in changing that. That's when they contacted and started working closely with the manufacturer of the head and neck support device, or HANS for short, which attaches to the helmet of the drivers and is held in place by the tight harness and upright body of the driver. When in a collision, the inertia of the body will tighten the device around the chest and neck, latching onto the helmet and preventing it from moving forward too much. It had been in prototype phase for a few years already. It was lengthily tested from 1996 to 1998 with Mercedes, where it proved that it reduced neck tension by 81%, shear by 72%, and the total neck load by 78% in the instance of a crash. And after a ton of pushback from some drivers, the HANS device was introduced and made mandatory from the 2003 season on. This device, combined with the soft headrest introduced in 1996, has saved countless lives ever since, and updates have been done to reduce its size and weight. Fire retardant driver suits have also been a major addition to the safety gauntlet, and were obligatory since 1975, just a year before the horrifying crash that left Niki Lauda in a very dire situation. What would have been of him had the suits not been implemented for, say, 2 seasons more? I guess we all know the answer to that one. The technology and fibers added to the suits have evolved greatly ever since, and are now much lighter and resistant. Tested from 600 to 800 degrees, they are the most important pieces of driver safety in the instance of a fire. And although fires happen less and less often nowadays, it's still extremely important to safeguard the drivers from them. In the instance of a crash, the most important thing to safeguard is the integrity and safety of the driver. But not just the head, the neck, or to protect from fires, because a crash can lead to much more. And so, from 1981, the survival cell was made mandatory. It is put through incredible tests to make sure it's resistant from every single angle and to every type of accident, mostly to secure the driver's legs and core from impact, fire, or external pressures like being squeezed against a wall. And once a crash like that happens, we immediately think of the safety car, but it hasn't always been that way. I've done a full in-depth explanation of how the safety car and virtual safety car work on my introduction to the weekend video that you can check out above. Here I'll just tell you that it was first introduced in 1973, but after the treacherous conditions made the results a mess to figure out, they pretty much weren't seen again until the official introduction of the safety car in 1993, and since 1996, Mercedes-Benz have carried the banner of the safety and medical cars, which will actually be divided from next year on, as Aston Martin were given a piece of the pie. The virtual safety car is more of an immediate race neutralizer that makes every driver slow down instantly instead of having to catch the safety car cue. It was introduced after the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix, after the accident that led to the passing of young driver Bianchi. To finish off, I wanted to mention one of the most controversial pieces of driver safety, which coincidentally is the latest one to be introduced. One mocked by both fans and drivers, me included unfortunately. One that teams were opposed to, but now we are all glad it's here and we know it is here to stay. I'm talking about the Halo. No, not that one. It was introduced for the 2018 season. Its aim is to protect the driver's head from anything from a flying car to a failing guardrail. This device has already saved many lives since its introduction. Most notably, Charles Leclerc on Spa 2018, countless drivers walked away scot-free after the 2020 Tuscan Grand Prix pileup, and all remaining doubters were hushed when last weekend we've had the Halo be the crucial part that saved Romain Grosjean's life on that horrifying accident. Of course, the Hansen survival cell also made this accident survivable, but if it weren't for the Halo, we probably would have seen a repeat of what happened to Helmut Koenig in 1974. Is there still work to be done? Undoubtedly. Are we going in the right direction? Absolutely. Right now, we just have to be thankful that all of these safety and technology innovations work together to make what could have been a horribly grim day into a hallmark for driver safety. The fact that he only suffered light burns and by the time this video releases he will be home with his wife and children is well and truly an engineered miracle. Yeah, so today's video was going to be of a more cheery nature, but I figured I might as well take the time to talk about driver safety because, well, we all were pretty shaken by what happened last Sunday. Anyways, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click one of these videos to the right or to the left, and as always, I will see you next time.